This video was intended for adult audiences 13 and above. If you are below the age of 13, you don't belong on my channel, get off. Go tell your parents to hire a babysitter to entertain you because this channel is not for you.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do part 2 of the rare and vintage Prismacolor pencils. This is part of my collection. And these are only the rare and vintage pencils that I have. And you can see there's quite a lot of them. In part 1 of this series, I did the history. If you have a knowledge of the history, you can appreciate what I'm about to show you even more. So if you haven't watched that video, I suggest stopping now and going back. I'll leave a card in the upper right corner for you to watch that video first, because then when you come back and you take a look at some of these pencils that I'm about to show you, you'll understand why they're so rare and why they're so hard to find. And if you're into collecting pencils, knowing the history of the pencil will give you a clue as to price and what you should be or shouldn't be paying, when somebody's going to be ripping you off, and trust me, they will try, and when you are paying a fair price. So let's take a look at the pencils. I'm going to show you some of my rares. I'm going to show you my ultra rares and some of the sets that you can find out there on the internet. And I'm going to give you all the secrets to the places that I do find these pencils at a fair price. For those of you who guessed Empire at the end of this video, I'm going to put your names in a hat and we're going to have the drawing for the rare pencil. And I'm going to let you do something. I had said it was going to be a copper, but I was able to get a whole bunch of rare neons. They do not make the neon greens anymore, and I got a whole bunch of them, and the copper pencils, which is the 951s. They do not. Right here I have 5 pencils. They're all white, they're all Prismacolor. And they actually are a good example of the history of Prismacolor because I have one from every era. So let's take a look and you'll see why Empire was the answer to the question. Here we have the Eagle Turquoise. This was really the beginning pencil. This is the oldest pencil of the group. As you can see, it's the Eagle Turquoise Prismacolor. And we're looking at Eagle Turquoise going back to the 1800s, really to around 1901, I believe, where they started making the colored pencils. The turquoise is the hint. They split up the turquoise line so that it would be turquoise went down the graphics line. And when they came out with Prisma in 1938, Prisma took off on their own line and they sort of tried to separate them. So here you have probably the oldest pencil in this group, and it's clearly marked Eagle Turquoise Prismacolor 938. The next pencil you'll see is just the plain Eagle Prismacolor, and that's this one. This came out anywhere between 1938 and 1969. Is as old as this pencil is. This is the next change in their pencils where it just said Eagle Prismacolor. Now you have, and from 1969 to 1987, they had the Beryl Prismacolor. And here you have a pencil from the Beryl Prismacolor time. And you could actually see on here, there's a split in this pencil. That didn't really hurt the pencil all too much, but there's a split in the barrel. Even though this is a USA pencil, it was not one of the best quality, and probably an example of why Prismacolor has had a bad reputation in the past. The next change in the pencils is when Sanford came in and bought the company, but there was another company that had owned them for a couple of years, and that was the Empire Company. They had partnered with Beryl, and it became Empire Beryl, but they never solely put their name out on the pencil. They only owned the company for 7 years. They were going through some financial hard times back then, and the Empire was 1987 to 1995. They never got around to putting their names solely on the pencil because they were partnership with Beryl. And it was, I think it was the CEO of the company was an Empire employee, but they were Empire Barrel. Now you have Stanford coming in 1995. Okay? And this is where everybody got confused and picked Newell. Think of Newell as the grandparent. They're the corporation. Stanford was the company that made Prismacolor. Now, a lot of you probably don't know this. Some of you probably do. If you are a polychromos person and you like those pencils, you might or might not be surprised that Newell owns polychromos also. Prismacolor and polychromos are cousins. Newell bought Faber-Castell. Now they have their Premier line. They also had Lightfast. Newell bought polychromos, and they have their line from Venus pencils. A couple of you asked me what the Venus pencils were because you find them. Venus goes down the polychromos line. So here you have, I don't have a Lightfast because I don't have any Lightfast pencils. And you have the Premier that is today. It's part of Sanford Newell. So as you could see, the company that didn't put their name on the pencil was Empire. And that's why everybody who guessed Empire was correct. Okay, I'm going to be skipping around a lot when it comes to the timeline on things because I want to show you the really cool stuff from every timeline. We're going to go to 1986 because 1986 was a very big upheaval in the Prismacolor line. A lot of pencils got discontinued and a lot of pencils were offered. Now, I'm going to show you all these pencils, but we're going to take a look at this set because this is something that if you are a collector, you're going to need to look at and recognize. So this pencil came out probably in 1986. And it says new complete 90s color range. And this is where everyone thinks, oh, it's going to be in the 90s. But this box really came out in 86. This box has 72 colors. You could see it on Amazon. Now, why did I start this whole series? Because I got ripped off on Amazon. And I'm going to show you why. This was a really cool box, and I thought, and it said you're getting the new complete 90s range. I knew in the 90s, that's when all the rare pencils came out. It was great. I was going to get all these rare pencils. When I got this box home I bought it on eBay. When I got this box, well, not only were the pencils of every other year, it was not the 1990s set that belonged. These pencils did not belong in here. I also did not know that the rare pencils did not come in the 72 set. So if you see new complete 90s range, 72 set or less pencils, there's not much in there that's rare. It's basically older pencils. The rare stuff came out in the 96 and 120 set. So this is a box that you can just keep in your memory. If you're going to go out and think you're going to get these rare pencils, you're not going to find them here. What I loved about this box is if you take the box and you pull up till that shows, this box will collapse upon itself. This slides down and up, and on the side, it made a stand. The pencils stood up in the box at different levels. So your bottom line was lower than your top line, and you could see all your pencils. I mean, that worked really well until your pencils got too small, but this box, I wish they had this design, and they should go back and make this design again. This is pencil 970. It is one of the rarest pencils that you're going to find from Prismacolor ever. It was only out for a very short amount of time, just a couple of years. I have the Canadian pencil. Canadian pencils are considered amongst Prismacolor of being the higher of the quality pencils. If your pencils are coming out of Mexico, that was supposed to be the lowest. Canada has not seen the problems that the other companies have seen. It was probably, I would guess, Empire Barrel that put this pencil out, because they were like responsible for this color, and it was discontinued very quickly, and you could see it is definitely an orchid color. There are pencils that are close in color, but you're not going to get this color. It's discontinued and rare. Now, something else on the Canada pencils that you might notice. They say Canada, they have their logo sign. Beryl is the company name. Prismacolor, the line of pencils. And what's missing? The name of the color. They didn't put the name of the color on there. They only went with the 970. That's why you have to remember this. If you're out there looking for pencils and you're at a swap meet or a flea market or at a garage sale and you see a bunch of pencils, keynote that you're going to be looking for 970. That's the holy grail. Another rare and discontinued pencil also came from Beryl, and probably around the Stanford Beryl era. This is pencil 920, and I had to really look at the color and the number really closely, because I kept saying, what? Light green? No. This pencil is actually aqua. There is no green. Well, there's no green in this pencil, and it was marked as light green. It is now discontinued. The number is not discontinued, but this pencil is. They don't have this color. And you could see as I'm coloring with this, there's no light green in this light green pencil. Okay, here we have the same pencil, 920. Here is the light green of today. This is the Premier. This is the Beryl light green. And you can see that it bears a striking resemblance to light aqua. So this really was not a green pencil. It was a aqua pencil. So that makes the Beryl 920 a rare. 951 is the copper pencil, and it's been discontinued. I wanted to show you some of the differences that you will find throughout the years. The oldest of my pencils does not say metallic copper on it. You can see it only says copper. Beryl Prismacolor, so you know around the age of the pencil, and it's just copper 951. Then they changed it. The weight of this pencil is probably twice what Prismacolor pencils are. In fact, I thought I was imagining things, and I took a whole bunch of Prismacolors and I held them in my hands. I mixed them up, I closed my eyes, I held them in my hands, and I was able to pick out this pencil every single time. This pencil is heavy in comparison to the other pencils, so I can understand why they discontinued it. The next one I have is, it says metallic copper. Metallic copper comes later on. It's a newer of the copper pencils, even though it's been discontinued. This pencil's been used a lot, but I guarantee this came from the new complete set, because it still had the copper in it, and it probably was in the 1980s that this was way older than that. Probably one of the original copper pencils. Now, the Canadian copper is a little bit different color. The Canadian version has no metallic copper written on it at all, and it's just the number, and it's 951. This is a pencil you look out for. You look out for the Canadian 951, and if you can get your hands on any copper pencil from Prismacolor, it's a really nice pencil. Even these are heavier, but not as heavy as the old ones. And you can see this is not, they replaced it with bronze, but it is by no means bronze. This is probably the most metallic pencil that they ever came out with as far as looking like real metal. And unfortunately, it was probably expensive to produce, and replaced it with the bronze, which was way lighter than this. Another rare group are the neons. Back in the same time as the metallics, they had neon yellow, neon orange, neon red, neon pink, and neon green. Blue, they never had a neon blue, but they did have electric blue is supposed to be the equivalent for the neon blue. Now, I always thought the reason why they got rid of the neon green is because they have spring green, and the colors were kind of very close. If you look at the barrels, they're very close. But I will tell you this, they don't color the same. Here you have the neon green. And you can absolutely tell this is a neon color. Now, a lot of people have mixed feelings about the neons. This is the spring green. As you can see, it is not a match at all. Not comparable. A lot of people don't like the neons because they don't know what to do with the neons. Not every highlight that you do on a picture is white. There are reflective highlights. As you're coming in towards that really white, the neons come in perfectly. So if I was going to go in with doing any picture and I'm using the greens and I want to do a highlight in the green, so here I have, and I'm fading in to where my highlight is going to be with the white, the neon is perfect. It's highly visible. Now put a white highlight in there. Go back to your neon. Blend it all out, and you're going to get a very striking look. This looks fantastic on leaves, on ground cover, when you're doing bushes, plants, when you want to do a darker bottom of the leaf or the plant, and you want to show the sun coming in, make the tips as the sun is hitting, grab your neon and go for it. Now, of course, this would have to be blended, but it is a fantastic color. So I'm very sorry that they got rid of their neon green. It was, in my opinion, a mistake for us artists. I wish they would bring it back. But you know what? Other brands have neon green. So, and you can get them in stock. And while I have a lot of neon green, I have no neon red. It's still out there ready for me to find. That's what's fun about collecting the rare colors. I will find that neon red. I will. If you've never experienced some of the problems that they had with the Prismacolor pencils, I have a oddity pencil. This is a really old Prismacolor, and I could see it faintly when I use a magnifying glass on it, what it is, and I think it's a Sanford, but the numbers it's right there, but you really can't see it. I could feel it on what it was. So the printing on this pencil was really super cheap. And this is how the pencil came out of the box, because that's the end of the pencil. And this is obviously a cream. This is not even loose. I don't know how it fell out. This is an example of the problems that they had back then with these pencils. This was cut in the factory wrong. So that's what you get. And I just thought it was a really an oddity to have. If you want to know immediately an age of a pencil and you come across this, for some reason, and I don't know why, it's always Sanford. The early Sanfords had, I guess the newest technology came out and they were able to put the barcodes. They painted the barcodes on. Made the pencil really ugly. So not only did they not put the name of the company on here, they just put Prismacolor. They put the name, the number, and then the name of the pencil. This just has to be Mulberry. You know it's either an Empire, but it's closer to the Sanford side, because this font is the Sanford font. So you know the time period if you see this on the pencil. This pencil would be probably early 1995. Here's another example of how you can lose your mind with these colors. This is the 933. Okay, the 933 is what we know as violet blue. And if you take a look at the pencils, what you will find down here is Beryl. This is Sanford. Beryl called it blue violet, and Sanford called it violet blue. So here you have the two. Beryl is lighter than your You could see the difference. And I'm using the same amount of pressure. Same number, 2 different colors. Here's another of the ultra rares. This was only out for like 3 or 4 years. This is a late barrel, and this is bright blue violet. And it's pencil 999. When I first saw it like this, and I was like, they made a 666. Are they crazy? No, this is a 999. It's an ultra rare, and I think it was only out for 4 years in one set. During the 90s, when they made that 90s set, that was really made in the 80s, but it was the 90s set. Okay, out of the ultra rare pencils, there are 3 that you're going to keep your eye out for. Now, I showed you the Orchid, and that was 970, but there's 2 pencils that are of the same era that you're going to keep your eye out for, and that's 971 Clear Yellow. It is retired. It's an ultra rare. And 983 Fuchsia, which is also an ultra rare. I haven't found them yet. I've never seen Clear Yellow. I have seen Fuchsia in pictures, but I've never seen or run into Clear Yellow. But they're supposedly out there. Obviously, I have run out of time, and I have so much more to show you. So we're going to be having another video. But in the meantime, anybody that makes a comment down below, I have 10 additional pencils to give away. That is my Christmas surprise to you. I found these on auction and going to give them away. So it's going to be for this video. If you make a comment in this video, I will enter you into the contest. I am just going to put the pencil in the envelope. I'm not telling you whether you're getting a neon or a copper. For the coppers, they may be Walnut Hollow copper. Walnut Hollow is an oil pencil that's also, they do not make anymore. They are friggin' fantastic. If you are out there and you see Walnut Hollow pencils, get them. You will not regret it. I'm so sad that they went out, but they're gone, and there's only vintage. So get yourself some. The coppers are as good as Prismacolor copper. You won't know the difference. So I will see you in the continuation next video. And sorry, I'm going to make you wait for pulling out of the hat. So there's going to be, these pencils have nothing to do with the other contest. The other contest is that contest. This is a whole new contest. Everybody's in. Everybody can win. And I will see you in my next video. Take care.
We wish you a Merry Christmas.